oh, KSI's ducking. There's been a whole lot of stuff of just like KSI doesn't actually want to fight Jake because he thinks he's going to lose. And I don't know if this entire thing today really helps his cause. I see where he's coming from, but I also don't. Nationers, we got a big one today. We have a big one. First of all, welcome back to episode 38 of The Realest This is not 38. This is episode 39. It says it right here. It says it on my phone, on my Notion. I thought for some reason it was episode 38. We're here. Episode 39 of The Realest Podcast. Banner right behind me. The lovely banner that has graciously given us so much amazing intros. First of all, Nation, I'm glad to be back here for another episode. Today has been a wild day since the moment I woke up. Not in my life. My life has been good. My life has been great. I've been planning out the stuff for these lockers, which you guys have been like begging me to like at least get something out for you guys. So I'm getting something out for you guys. Been cleaning them occasionally, just as I can. However, Nationers, we're back. This day has been eventful. I got a lot to talk about today. I was actually going to talk about just like some general things. Just, a little quick update, which I was like, it's kind of boring in my opinion. But I probably would have tried to make it exciting somehow. But today, Nation, I have something 10 times more exciting to talk about. And that is the KSI versus Jake Paul feud that's been going on Twitter all of today, which has seemingly kind of diminished a little bit in recent hours as of recording this. However, Saturday, I woke up, checked Twitter because I got a message from someone, another friend of mine, and I just saw Jake Paul laughing, and I was like, huh? What's going on? I saw KSI talk about there was a thing. It's like, oh no, your fight's going to probably be canceled, and then you're going to come to me for the attention of the fight, right? And I was like, what the world's going on? What is going on here? I was a little confused. It was kind of I had a few pieces to the puzzle, but I didn't really know what the full picture looked like until I literally saw a post on Instagram talking about Alex Wasabi. There's a motorcycle coming, or it's not even a motorcycle. There's a car crossing. By the way, Nationers, again, welcome back. If you guys are new here, welcome. To all our audio listeners, shout out to you guys. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button right now. We got a juicy one today with the Jake Paul KSI feud going on. And I totally forgot to mention my audio listeners and the subscribers, the people who watch this podcast. I appreciate you guys dearly. Let me just say, Nationers, with this brand new, scene of influencer boxing, you would expect that there would be some complications, right? There just is. So I kind of want to talk about the timeline of everything because Jake Paul basically offered KSI, he's like, you're the A side, I'll fight for zero money, fight on your card. And then, there's little things of just that's not going to happen because we knew that was going to happen. Alex Wasabi apparently just got a concussion, isn't cleared. So it's that fight is still August 27th, but I don't know what how would you say it? I'm assuming it's off because with the concussion, it could be done, could be cleared in a week. However, I feel like you need to be cleared for an entire month before the fight, if that makes sense. I'd assume that's just, regulation, especially if you're getting beat up in the head. Bow, 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 pow. Concussion. I kind of get it. However, let's talk about the timeline just to catch everyone up to speed with this. Because I've been following this pretty religiously because I was excited. Today, Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting Raheem, well, actually not even Ramen, freaking Tommy Fury, who couldn't get into the United States. So this fight had been promoted since May. Essentially, Tommy Fury was up for the gig, was able to fight Jake Paul in Madison Square Garden as the main headline. That's huge. That would have been a great fight. A lot of people have been talking about Jake, not fighting a real boxer, fighting, Tyron Woodley, who hasn't really, been in his prime for handful of years. And obviously they fought twice because Tommy Fury backed out of December 18th of 2021, that fight, and took that fight on short notice. Obviously they fought beforehand. He fought Nate Robinson. He's fought Nissan Gibb. He's also fought Ben Askren, who had hip surgery, which, bro, like what the frick, okay? Like I get it. You could box, Jake. But at the same time, I also want to see like a very even fight. Like, mind you, the Tyron fight was not bad until, round 5, but it is what it is. However, the big thing, Nationers, a part of this was there was the big Tommy Fury comeback. He's, similar weights. They could have, it would have been great. It would have been a great fight at 200 pounds, cruiserweight. Would have been perfectly fine. And unfortunately, I don't know if they were fighting at 200. That was the Rahman Jr. fight that they were fighting at 200/205, which I'll explain in a minute here. And Tommy Fury was, on his flights to the United States, and the flight took off without him. It took off without him. And apparently, I guess, like, the UK was like, nah, you don't get to come here. Apparently you have like a tie with like a Italian drug boss. And I don't know exactly what that relationship was. I don't know if they just happened to like cross paths and they're in the same video. And they're like, you seem like you're good friends with this guy because you guys walked past each other. Imagine that. Like somebody, is, a big drug lord. You just happen to walk past him. It's like, oh, you're convicted too. You smelt the same air. You drink the same air. That would be pretty wild, right? Like imagine like, oh, you jaywalked and your car was there. You're convicted too. You jaywalked too. That would be pretty interesting. However, Tommy Fury couldn't get into the US and all. The fight was apparently off. It was I don't know. It was not it. It was not meant to be. KSI, so this is an important part. KSI also mentioned that, Jake Paul could fight on his undercard in the UK, right? That would have been a pretty big fight. Had to have JJ and Jake on the same card, but not fighting each other. You can kind of somewhat compare each other, right? Big, massive spectacle, right? Obviously, Madison Square Garden's great. There was also the worry that they might not sell pay-per-views or seats in the stadium, which is not great if you're Jake Paul, right? Being the promoter, the MVP, the most valuable promotions. That's not great. You want to try and promote this fight. And, he put out, some promo about the fight, because he had found a replacement, right? I don't know Rahman's first name off the top of my head. I just knew it was Rahman. It's not ramen like the noodle. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, because I know I'm probably am. So, Jake put out a Twitter thing, and he's like, I already have 3 opponents ready to sign a contract, And this is an interesting part about everything, because, Rahman being a little bit heavier, he apparently said he weighed 216. He apparently also had said he weighed 224 and 232 at the signing of the contract, which, dropping 30 pounds in less than 30 days is like, those commercials on TV, it's like, oh my gosh, I lost 45 pounds in 30 days. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? You lost 1.5 pounds per day? That is not healthy. That's not healthy at all. It's like that type of stuff, And mind you, I mean, unless you went on that diet, if you called like the 1-800 number, you could probably lose 30 pounds in 30 days. However, how things worked out was apparently Rahman Jr. apparently weighed 216, I think like a week before the fight, last, I guess, like Friday. So a little bit more than the week before the fight. And the commission's like, it's a little bit too much. And they were trying to renegotiate contracts to get the weight at 205, which eventually, the fight was just called off. Jake Paul pulled out of the fight because of the weight concern. And funny enough, Jake Paul's out of a fight. Rahman actually weighed at 206, which they actually, I believe, agreed on 205 to some extent, being like a weight like a limit, like you couldn't really weigh anymore. Like if you weighed 206, apparently like he lose like a quarter of his purse or half of his purse. Rahman would if he weighed a pound over for every pound over. So since he weighed 206.6 or something, 206.4, like I guess you round it up and whatnot, 207. If anything, he would have lost, 75% of his purse because it's 50% and then 50% of the 50%, right? So if anything, Jake would have fought at like 200, probably 203 the night of. And then what is it? Like, you basically have the same fight, It's like a lot of people were saying, like, is like, how much is, like a few pounds, Especially that way, I could kind of see it. I also could probably see it a little bit more when you get to like the 130s, right? However, it is what it is. Jake Paul apparently pulled out of the fight. Rahman doesn't have a fight. He apparently weighed in somewhat near the weight cap. And now Jake's out of fight. Come August 6th, Alex Wasabi, KSI have done a face-off where KSI basically talked for 20 minutes and Alex Wasabi was, I think given like 5 words a part of the face-off. And, obviously there has been like oh, KSI's ducking. There's been a whole lot of stuff of just like KSI doesn't actually want to fight Jake because he thinks he's going to lose. And I don't know if this entire thing today really helps his cause. I see where he's coming from, but I also don't. Simply because, like, you had all the cards that you've wanted to play. It's like, and you've went all in. It's like, imagine you're playing poker, right? And, there's a certain hand that it's the last flip of, like, Texas Hold'em, right? You have 4 cards out. They're not really for you, but you went all in to try and bluff. But they probably have a better hand because they also went all in. But you need this one card flip to like say like, yes, like I've won everything, right? You bankrupt the other person, you won the entire prize, right? That's where we're at with this, where like Jake said he would fight for no money. He'll sign the contract. He will fight on your card, fighting you, because if anything, they both don't have an opponent. So it makes sense to just fight each other. However, I also get it where 3 weeks, not enough to really promote it. I think, especially if KSI is able to find an opponent, which he said he has, which he actually said once he found the news that he had already delivered a contract to another opponent simply because he knew that Jake might pull something like this. And mind you, Jake's a great marketer. I think we could all give him that. He's a great person when it comes to that field, right? However, I don't know if 3 weeks is enough to really get enough people to really, like flip their entire schedules and like, I got to go watch this fight or like, I got to go buy this fight, which is actually only selling for $20 compared to Jake's 60. Mind you, I probably would have bought the fight. I probably would have bought KSI's fight over Jake's. $60? I don't know. And speaking of $20 compared to $60, Nationers, we have some brand new merch dropping next week on the 12th, August 12th, 2022. I'm dropping a brand new collection of merch, something that will be on the site forever. We have a brand new website, which I have not released yet, but Nationers, just know, by the time next episode comes out, episode 40, you guys will be able to buy the brand new merch. This hoodie cost me only $30. $30, okay? I could have bought 2 of these before the Jake Paul fight. And then Nationers, I also have a shirt under this with the Nationer logo, the same logo, for only $20. So shirts, $20, long sleeves, $24. Crew necks, if you guys are rocking crew necks, $28. Hoodies for $30. We also have two posters, different sizes, $15 and $18 respectively. We also have stickers for $7, which I'm kind of annoyed about because that was the cheapest I could get them. And then also a wall tapestry for $30, I think, maybe a little bit less. I will get back to you on that. However, Nationers, you guys can expect to be able to buy this next week, Nationers. August 12th, 2022. Back to the podcast. So yeah, that is basically the extent of where this lies. KSI and Jake went back and forth on Twitter, baby. They were going back and forth. I think the offer by Jake is great. 3 weeks is not enough. I think you let KSI fight this new opponent, destroy him like he was going to destroy Alex Wasabi anyways. And then, you know what? The next fight, boom, bada bing. I don't know if Jake's going to find a fight before, I guess, another fight before he fights KSI. I think that fight's still there. Their weight class obviously is very similar, 200, 190. It's there. There's cruiserweight, right? And man, does it like it does excite me because you do get to see the extents of what a YouTuber and social media star can bring to a sport, right? Like for myself doing my Spartan races, I'm just like, this is really cool. Like I could imagine just even like, I'm going to call it right now. I will call it right now. As I continue to grow, I imagine there will be little videos of me that I'll probably create of me doing like obstacle course stuff, right? Like Spartan stuff. And I truly believe that, you know, like maybe ESPN picks it up because of like my image and likeness and they start posting it. People start to appreciate and recognize and get to see a little bit more of obstacle course racing, Spartan racing, Tough Mudder, different things across, you know, continental seas. Like in the UK, they have different OCR stuff. And I truly believe that. Episode 39, mark your words, Nationers. I don't know why I'm pointing at my watch, but mark your words, Nationers. OCR will be big in the next, like, 6 years. And not to say that it's not big already, but it's just not, like, many people know about it. You know, they've heard about a Spartan race. They've heard about a Tough Mudder, but they don't know what it's like to do it. They don't know what it, like, looks like, right? And I don't know if I'm here to help bridge that gap, but I surely want to help bridge that gap between, you know, just like people who casually watch basketball and football and soccer and baseball to really just go out there and go do a Spartan race, get to see a little bit of what it's like. And yeah, I think it would be really, really cool to do a video where like all the spear throws, right? It's basically all the spear throws. There's usually around 10 to 12 and just hitting them all. Boom, 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 boom. That would be really cool. In addition to that, Nationers, I am pretty excited just to, you know, again, drop this merch, which you guys just heard the little ad for. But Nationers, I also do have a Spartan race next week. I am getting ready for my 6th Spartan race. This one's a sprint. I'm racing in the not the age group. I'm racing in the open heats because I didn't have an age group for this distance, and I got it for like $26 because last Black Friday, I bought like a flex pass for like $89, which $89 won't get you anything at like a Spartan race. It won't get you a ticket for a Spartan race. However, like I got it for cheap. Apparently it expired May 1st of 2022. I reached out to them. They reactivated it for 3 days. I then bought the race for basically free, but just had to pay like the transaction fees of just like the processing fees, which is like annoying. However, $26, not bad for a Spartan race. It's over in Seattle. And Nation was actually, by the time this podcast comes out, it would have been 1 year to the day that I actually started doing Spartan racing. That's insane. I cannot believe that. Thinking about it, like 365 days ago, I started doing Spartan races. As this episode drops. Not yet. I can't celebrate quite yet. But Nationers, the 14th next week, I will be racing. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Expect to see some stuff on my Instagram about that. And I'm really, really excited just to really be back out there because I hadn't done one since May. I've done a few long runs, and I felt really, really good. I've been doing a lot of trail runs, felt really, really good about them, and felt also really, really good just about like everything that I've been doing. And I really feel super confident going into this one. Though I'm in an open heat, there are still very, very competitive people in open heats. People typically like to just try and do open heats because then they can at least fail an obstacle and not have to do burpees. But it's really just to try like a new technique or try something that you haven't really done before. So you're not doing it in the place where it actually matters, where there is a little bit more consequences. So that's that. It's super exciting just to get out there, and Nations, I'm beyond excited to put on my little headband, get my hair up in my shorts. And Nations, I think like the transformation of just what I look like in physique wise is going to be like, it's good. It's like really, really good. Like over the past, even through like my DECA strong thing that I did, like even that physique through June and July, it was like, oh man, it's really good. And I'm really, really excited to get out there and really test to see where I am. So Nation is next week. But you guys will hear about that in 2 podcasts simply because I'll be recording the podcast next week, a week beforehand, but that's next week. You guys will see it if you guys watch these podcasts quite regularly. And Nationers, I really have nothing more to talk about in this episode because I'm actually really, really excited just to get this episode out for you guys. Just my thoughts on the KSI Jake Paul fight and my next episode. Oh, my next Spartan race. I just stepped on my headphone cord, and the brand new Merch Nationers. So thank you guys again so much for watching episode 39 of the Realist Podcast. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, night, wherever you guys are, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. 07. Peace.